Cool. So the next question on Jade's list was automated versus live. Jordan, I know how you feel now. You wanna elaborate on that?
Yeah, so I have to say this like with a little bit of like holding back, but because I just did a product launch and we did like a kind of a hybrid, like we pre-recorded the call because it was a demo of software, and if you've ever tried to demo software live, it always screws up somehow. So we started it live and then like kind of transitioned over to a recorded thing, right? And that literally happened today. So we had like 75 people on the call and had 10 or so people sign up for the free trial, and it worked great. But generally speaking, like everybody that's doing these evergreen webinars and the like, hurry, there's only 5 spots left and it starts in 7 minutes, you just happen to jump on my landing page right before it starts. Like, I'm just not a fan of lying to people. Like, tell them it's a recorded webinar, let them come to a live one, or because your recorded webinar, it's a video, just tell them you're watching a video, right? And don't try and trick people. And the reality is like, the people that are doing this, like, if you think about, like, I don't know if you guys were like watch any of those spam things, the deliverability webinars that I did with Keep. The reality is like sending emails that do stuff that spammers do make you look like a spammer, right? And the same thing goes with automated webinars. Like, every freaking internet guru, Instagram influencer, blah blah blah, whatever, is doing these fake live webinars, and you're going to look like those people, and that's not the type of people that you want to look like, right? And so I'm just not a fan of telling people it's one thing when it's not. Like, it's just goes against it rubs me the wrong way. That's why.
So what you're describing is like anything. You're not opposed to the thing. You're opposed to people doing it either unethically or poorly, right? Like, I think automated webinars as a concept have some merit. But yeah, I don't recommend lying to the people to get them, to manipulate them into doing what you want.
But 9 times out of 10, when I see those things, it's like, join my webinar or whatever, that everybody's talking about what an evergreen webinar is it's just a recording, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that you're not live. There's Dave from South Dakota isn't really on the call.
Right.
So I'm just not a fan of that.
Yeah, I think what's important for people to understand is that there's some risk involved in that. As Chris said, it took someone about a year to gain my trust back after I figured out their webinar wasn't live. And I would imagine there's a lot of people who feel that way. You wind up feeling duped, and that's not the way to build trust with your audience, right? Scott, how do you feel about automated webinars versus live webinars? Go ahead.
I'm not as against them as like everybody seems to be. But I think they serve a place, and I think most people never get to the point where they even should be using them or could be using them. What I mean by that is I've had a lot of clients who come to me and they say, cool, I want to do an automated webinar. I said, awesome. Where's the live one that you've done? Like, well, what do you mean? We
haven't done it yet.
And they've never done it live. And the problem is, when you've never done it live, like, whatever you put out there as evergreen is probably going to suck. And they're just like, okay, I'm gonna, and they do all of this like stuff to do their one recording that then they're gonna do live. It's like, no, do it live every week for like a year, and then we can talk about automating it, right? But doing it live that much, you're gonna get the feedback like you're getting right here. You're gonna hone your message. You're gonna craft your message. I mean, every single one of us did webinars, and I don't know, Jordan probably didn't. Greg probably. I sucked when I started.
I did.
Like it took me a while to get comfortable and like find my voice and find my groove and get to the point. Find the ways to describe things and to say things so that it connected. And when you get that live feedback from people, you say something and everybody's like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're like, oh, that didn't work. And so you find a new way to say it, and then you do that next time. And like, you do that every week over week for like a year, you get really good. Then I say go automate that. Now, like I'm with you, like don't lie, but at the same point, if something's always available, how many of us have had a recording of a video that we've never gone and watched?
Yeah,
Because it's always available. So from the perspective of like, hey, look, I'm going to put this in this particular format, so there is some sort of like urgency for, or not urgency, but like scarcity, like it's going to go away and you're not going to have access to it. Like, I don't know. I feel like doing it in that way so that the person has a reason to come on and watch it is one thing. Doing this whole like, now, like, that's inauthentic.
Yeah.
I don't support that.
Yeah, I think Jake in the comments put it the way that I would put it. Register for the live one or watch our on-demand one right now. Like, I'm fine with that. That's fine. But like, you know what? Honestly, what happens when I feel like getting spammed, is I sign up for the ones that I know are fake live webinars, and I go and try and hack them and see what do I do to like accelerate the timer so that I can just get to the video and watch the video. Right. Because that's really what people want. Like people, like you don't have to register with YouTube to watch a YouTube video. Just let people do what they want to do, and you're just introducing more variables and more opportunities for them to say no and to go do something else during the 7 minutes that you're going to make them wait for this fake bullcrap live video. So,
okay, yeah. So this is good. And Jade said, what about the language of using on demand instead of I'm lying about being live? Yeah, I think on demand is probably the way I would phrase it. I like that language. Jake said, get good at selling one and then go live one to many, or get selling 1-to-1 and then go live 1-to-many. And when you get good at that, then take your best recording and offer on demand. I do like the ability to say, join us for the live one or watch an on demand from previous webinar. So I think there's a good opportunity there. Obviously, I think I've shared a couple links here. I've been using automated webinars because it's a feature in Demio. So it's part of what I pay for. And I was like, okay, I may as well play with this. But I resisted it for well over a year because of everything Jordan just said. It felt slimy to me. And what I realized was, I don't have an issue with automated webinars. I have an issue with the way I have seen them done. Mm-hmm. And that was an important distinction for me, was like, just because other people suck at them doesn't mean that the monkey pod version of one is going to be like suddenly slimy and sleazy. That's not who I am or what I do. So I think there is a way for you, whoever is interested in it, to do it in a way that feels genuine for your brand. My landing page makes it really clear that I actually have 2 live now. One is the automated webinar. It's an automated webinar about automated webinars. If I could rename it, I would. Actually, I can rename it. I'm not.
I think it's great. I think
the second one is... Thanks. The second one is Campaign Builder Finishing School. And both of them tell people in the opening 3 minutes, this is a recording. And if that doesn't serve you, here's where you can go watch the replay. It gives them the link up front. I give them, actually, there's a button. Demio allows me to display a button. I call it a ripcord, where they can exit the webinar and go straight to that thank you page that has the recording, if that's what they prefer. But some people, they like that false urgency because they know it holds them accountable. If like Scott said, if they have recordings that are in their inbox flagged, they may never go back to watch them. But there's something about not being able to pause it that gives them that sense of like, cool, my attention is demanded here. Now, the other thing I'll say is that I don't know. I could check the Demio stats. I did recently. I've seen 100% attendance for the on-demand option. With my on-demand webinars, I give people there's 2 times, like 2 p.m. and whatever 11 a.m. that they can choose, or they can choose the version that is starting now, which is what Jordan mentioned. And for the people who choose starting now, 100 or 79 out of 79 have also attended for at least some portion of the webinar. And so there's a trade-off, right? You may get people may be a little frustrated, or they may choose to pull the ripcord, but there's a segment of those people who, if you held it live, wouldn't show up at all. And so, I think it's important to just have options, not so that people feel held hostage, but so that they have the agency to participate in whatever way makes the most sense for them.
I'm gonna be the contrarian view here. Like, and again, this is in a sales environment, not a training environment, right? But I think it still stands in a training environment. When we go through and we're training, right? I've worked with each of you. I've trained side by side with both of you. We construct our presentations in a very specific way to build layer on layer on layer to give people an experience and to take them to an aha moment, right? Sales conversations are created in the same way. And if somebody just fast forwards through that, like they miss that type of stuff, right? And so like if you're doing a sales webinar, giving somebody just a video where they can just scrub to the end and they can look at the offer and be like, nah, I don't want it, like, and they bail. Like, you know what? I would prefer to have somebody, like, yes, I'll take a hit on the number of people that attend, but I'd prefer to have somebody who comes and sits and who I can then frame the conversation before I put the offer in front of them. It's just controlling that environment.
Yeah, I mean, technically you can turn off the scrubbing and like I said, I don't have a problem with saying this is a recording. You can watch it now, or you can wait until I'm doing it live again tomorrow or whenever it is. Like, that's fine. But my issue is the fake live stuff.
I'm with you. Like, yeah. I agree on the whole inauthentic, like hyping up that we're live, and I probably wouldn't do that.
500 people on the call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a fair point, Scott. I appreciate you being the contrarian there.
It's looking at what's your objective, though. What are you trying to do, and how are you trying to serve that person? If the product that you have, like, I have a client who set one up. She set up an on-demand or a on-demand. I think she gives them the ability to click through right away, and it's a recorded version, right? She set this thing up and set it up at the beginning of the summer as like a test, and came back after traveling all summer. She's like, I made 15 grand. Like, that's awesome. And like, right. Her product serves her clients. And so like, I think it's looking at it and saying, hey, how can I best serve the person that I'm trying to serve? Not how can I lie to them? How can I swindle them? If you're doing shady crap, you're doing shady crap. People are going to figure out. But if you actually have somebody that serves people, how do you put them in the best environment, the best frame to be able to receive what it is that you're offering? And these are just different tools and techniques that you can use.
Let me say this. The last one I did, the last automated webinar I did, I built it backwards. So I designed this page, which has the individual tactics broken down into digestible videos. And then I recorded the intro to the webinar, the outro to the webinar, and transition points between those videos. So I designed them to stand alone on that page so that I knew people could consume them no matter where they jump in. And I strung them together as a webinar with like sort of the host mentality, like injected as bookends around it. When I've described my relationship to automated webinars, I don't use them for direct sales. There isn't an explicit, like, you got to go buy this thing. There isn't an expiring offer of any kind. So I'm coming at it largely from like a relationship building and like expertise, establishment standpoint. The other thing I'll say is that I pay $89 a month for Demio. And if I don't host a webinar in a given month, I kind of cringe because I know I'm paying for that software regardless. But now that I have these set up, they're just on autopilot. And my subscription hasn't changed, but I feel like I'm getting more value from this tool because it can generate leads for me. So there is something from like an ROI perspective with my relationship to Demio. It's comforting for me to know that like there's pieces in play, right? You can do the work once if you're strategic about how you build it and get more mileage out of it that way.